Hello friends, in this video we will talk about the suit of wands. In this video I will explain you what is suit of wands and I will tell you some important points about all the 14 cards in the suit of wands. So let's get started. Now our first question is, what is suit of wands? Out of the 78 cards of tarot, 14 cards comprise of the suit of wands. Why they are called suit of wands? Because in those cards, in the imagery, you will find a wand or a rod. Like the example in front of you is of seven of wands. So in this picture you can see that there are seven wands or seven rods. Now, in order to decode any card of tarot, what you need to do is you need to meditate on that card and connect that card to the person for which the reading is being given, and also to the present social circumstances. And you have to meditate on that each and every card. You have to meditate on and decode it and try to understand what the what is the message that that card is trying to convey to you. For example, the card in front of you is seven of wands. In this card you can see that a man is holding a wand and is trying to fight other people. Either he is trying to stop them or he is trying to attack them. There can be two contexts. So like this you have to meditate on each and every card. Now, there are some special points about wands. See, wands are represented by the element fire. They also represent the direction south, and in the reading, if you get a card from suit of wands, it generally means that the solution or the query is about growth, work, job, career, enterprise, willpower, and it is also a card of spirituality. So let's understand all the 14 cards of suit of wands. Now, our first card is the king of wands. It represents honesty. The single point is honesty, centered willpower, a very practical person, a very self disciplined person, a person who is very responsible. Now we have the queen of wands. See, the queen of wands, it represents emotions, it represents emotional stability also. And the queen of wands, it also represents friendship, and desires. It also represents a very young person, a young person, and a person who wants to do good for the society. Now we have the knight of wands, and it represents journeys, ambitions, willpower, taking charge, leading into a battle, completing the tasks, chivalry, eloquent, a very eloquent person, a very charming person. And it also represents a person who has a very positive attitude, a very optimistic person. Now we have the page of wands. It represents intelligence. Why? Because see that the person in this card is very curiously looking at the wand and he is trying to check the wand like what it is. So it represents curiosity. It represents intelligence, research, inspiration, and it also represents faith and new beginnings in life. Now we have the ace of wands. Now we have this card, and it represents career, it represents enterprise, it represents the ability to do something new, something innovative, or starting a new life, starting a new venture, a new business, or taking on challenges of life. And it is a very positive card. Next we have the two of wands. See, two of wands, it represents spirituality, it represents journey, research. Like you can see that the man in this card is holding a globe, so it also represents exploration, exploring the unseen, research work. It is a card which represents researchers. Now our next card is three of wands. See, three of wands, in this imagery that you can see, a person is there between three wands. So it can also represent deep introspection. It represents spirituality. It represents a very active person, a person who is very actively engaged in business. And it also represents travel. The main things which are connected with this card is trade, commerce, trading, banking. Next we have the four of wands. As you can see in the imagery, it is another very positive card. It represents completion of tasks, like you throw a party, or you enjoy after completing some work, or completing some important tasks. It also represents the time of joy, prosperity, a time of good fortune. Next we have is five of wands, and it is a very straightforward card. It represents internal strife. It represents fighting within the group, fighting within the community, family, or if a couple is taking a reading, you can say that they are fighting amongst each other. It also means strife and challenges in life, and a person who gets irritated very easily, a short tempered person. Next we have is the six of wands. Six of wands, it represents victory, it represents triumph, celebrations. It represents you winning a award. It represents winning awards or recognition or a trophy. Next card is seven of wands. It represents stiff competition, very hard work, very strong opposition. It also represents defiance. It also represents a personal struggle, like the person may not be fighting with other people, but in his own mind there may be a lot of struggle going on. Next we have is the eight of wands. It is a very mysterious card. As you can see that the eight wands are there, so it represents a time of activity, a time where you need to be very active. It also represents something, a divine signal, like someone is trying to tell you something, or someone is trying to warn you of something. Next we have is the nine of wands. See, nine of wands, it can represent jail also. It represents discipline, inner strength, and it also represents like you are in a very bad situation and you are trying to figure out how to get out of your bad situation. Next we have is the ten of wands. See, ten of wands represents very hard struggle, especially a very bad career. Also, it represents a lot of challenges, a lot of hard work in career, a lot of burdens. See, some burdens are good, like parents caring for children, and some burdens are bad, like heavy burdens, like. And in this card, it is trying to convey the message that the person needs to know their limits, that how much they can work and how much they can bear. And this card also represents oppression also. So these were our points about the suit of wands. So do like this video and do mention in the comments your own experience with the suit of wands. Thank you.